Assalamualaikum and hello again boys and girls. My name is Miss Ain and today we're going into our fourth lesson, which is question tags. So first thing first, you have to know what are question tags. Question tags are usually put at the end of a statement. Why? It is to confirm a statement. You want to make sure whether or not the statement is correct or not. Okay, let's look at the example here. You're happy to see me, aren't you? Aren't you is the question text to confirm the statement here. You're happy to see me, aren't you? Okay, let's look at the second one. We are glad to be here, aren't we? So aren't we is the question text to confirm the sentence we are glad to be here. Are you clear? In Bahasa Melayu, question text is the word kan. For example, kamu seronok kan? So the word kan is the question text. Or kamu lapar kan? So the word kan there again is the question text. Okay, let's move on. Have a look at this. There are three types of sentence here. The first one, is Farah sick? That is a question, a direct question. Is Farah sick? Okay. The second one, Farah is sick. That is a statement. You just tell someone, Farah is sick. But if you want to confirm whether Farah is sick or not, you use question tag. For example, Farah is sick, isn't she? So the word isn't she is used to confirm the statement. Farah sakit kan? Something like that. Got it? Okay, let's go to the main rule. Rule number 1. Positive statement must be followed by negative text. So look at the symbol here. Positive, negative. That's always like that. So when you have a negative statement, it must be followed with a positive tag. Negative, positive. You need to remember that. Positive, negative, negative, positive. Alright? Good. Okay, let's look at rule number 2. Tags are usually followed by pronouns. Pronouns? We've learned pronouns before, right? But never mind, let's have a look. Brian is smart, isn't Brian? So this is wrong. We don't use Brian or noun for question text. There's always pronouns. So what should we do? The correct one is Brian is smart, isn't he? So he refers to Brian. So you use he to replace the word Brian. So next, the cats are fat. Aren't the cats? One more time, this is wrong. So what should we replace it with? The cats are fat. Aren't they? They? Why do we use they? They refers to the cats. Many cats, right? So the correct one, once again, the cats are fat, aren't they? Okay, now let's look at rule number 3. Okay, rule number 3. In question text, we use short forms or contraction. Okay, what is contraction? Let's see. They eat the cake. Do not they? It's not like that. We need to contract something at the question text there. So the correct one should be they eat the cake, don't they? Do not, you have to contract it, becomes don't. Next one, she has seen it, has not she? That is incorrect. The correct one is she has seen it, hasn't she? So the word has not, you need to contract it, become hasn't. And rule number 4. Aren't is used to replace am not. Let's see the example. I am confident. Am I not? It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to use aren't I. So the correct one is, I am confident, aren't I? Alright? Am I not? Replace with aren't I. Alright, the next one. I am lucky. Am I not? That is so odd to say that. You have to replace it. I am lucky, aren't I? So once again, am I not? You have to replace it with aren't I. Alright. So what about these negative statements? I'm not rich. Okay, see the difference? The first one, I am. So this time around, it's I'm not. So what is the question text over there? The answer is, I'm not rich. Am I? And one more, I'm not fat. Am I? Okay, so this is the rule for the pronoun I. Before we go any further, you need to be aware of these two things. First one, you have to look at the subject first. Okay, so you have to read the statement first. Identify the subject. So this is important for you to determine the pronouns for the question text. Next, you have to identify the verbs. This is important for the question text. So it is important for you to determine whether you need to have positive text, negative text, what tenses, present, past. Okay, let's look at this example. Dragons and unicorns are not real. So as I said before, you have to look at two things. The first one is the subject. So what is the subject in this sentence? Yes, dragons and unicorns. So for dragons and unicorns, what pronouns is the most suitable for us to replace it? Yes, they. We use they. Okay, now the second thing, let's look at the verb. What is the verb in this sentence? Are not real, or are not, right? So are not is positive or negative? Present tense or past tense? Good, it's negative and it's in present tense. So if it's negative, the question tag is always positive. So the answer is, are they? So it should be, dragons and unicorns are not real, are they? Okay? Okay, now let's move on. So the first one I'm going to introduce with the statement is and are. These two words shows present tense. Okay, look at this table. Is, isn't, is. So as I said before, positive, negative, negative, positive. Okay, that is for singular subjects. And then for plural subject, are, aren't, are. Once again, positive, negative, negative, positive. Now, I want to show you the sentence example. Set 1. She is your cousin, isn't she? Azmi is your boyfriend, isn't he? Positive, negative. Alright? So, let's look at set 2. Alia isn't here yet, is she? Your father isn't an architect, is he? Isn't, is. Alright? Next, set 3. They are your cousins, aren't they? Leah and Siti are your friends, aren't they? Are, aren't. And the last one, the boys aren't here yet, are they? Your parents aren't teachers, are they? Aren't, are. Negative statements with positive text. Okay, next, let's look at the past tense. Was and were. Was with wasn't, wasn't with was. Were with weren't, weren't with were. Let's look at the sentence example. Set 1. It was hot yesterday, wasn't it? Maria was sleeping, wasn't she? Was and wasn't. Alright? Your mother wasn't at home, was she? The teacher wasn't late, was he? Wasn't and was. So negative statement and positive text. Okay, now let's look at the plural subjects. They were sleeping, weren't they? The girls were happy, weren't they? Were and weren't. And the last one, let's look at the negative statements and positive text. Your siblings weren't at home, were they? The teachers weren't late, were they? Weren't and were. Alright? Next one is has and have. Has and have are used for present tense. Look at the table one more time. Has, hasn't, hasn't, has. Have, haven't, haven't, have. Okay, let's look at the first set. The first set is positive statement with negative tag. Azli has 4 cats, hasn't he? Miss Aini has a boyfriend, hasn't she? Okay, set 2. Raju hasn't eaten yet, has he? Hasn't and has. Okay, negative statement and positive tag. Your father hasn't gone to work, has he? So hasn't, negative, and positive, has he. Okay, next. You have a sister, haven't you? They have done your homework, haven't they? Have and haven't. So the last one, negative statement with positive tags. You haven't been to Egypt, have you? They haven't received your letter, have they? Alright? So next, let's look at the past tense. For singular and plural subjects, we only use had. Okay, let's look at the table first. Had, hadn't, hadn't, had. She had nasi lemak for breakfast, hadn't she? So if it's plural, we still use had. We had a great time last night, hadn't we? What about negative statements? The accident hadn't happened, had it? Okay. The girls hadn't said anything to Rita, had they? Let's look at do verbs. For this section, I'll be focusing on the negative ones. Okay, what are the negative ones? Don't, do, doesn't, does, didn't, did. Okay, let's look. Set 1. You don't have a stepbrother, do you? She doesn't like him, does she? Doesn't is used for singular subject. Once again, negative, positive. Next, Shazli didn't go to Abu's house, did he? Didn't is past tense, so it's negative with positive. This is for singular. What about for plural? Let's look at the sentence. Shazli and Shima didn't go to Abu's house, did they? You still use did. And negative statement followed by positive question tags. What about the positive sentences for the do verb? I do like playing tennis. It's very uncommon for you to say that. You straight away say, I like playing tennis, right? So that is for plural subject or I and you. What about singular subject? She does eat the cake. It sounds very odd, right? So you straight away say, she eats the cake. Focus on the word eats. The subject there is singular. So you use eats. And the last one, they did went to the mall. That is very wrong. Did went. So the correct one would be, they went to the mall. Those words are actually action verbs. Words like play, eat, cake. Okay, so let's see the table here. Play, eat, cake, and the tag should be don't. This is for plural subject. For singular subject, you have to add s for the verb. Plays, eats, cakes. So you have to follow it with doesn't. Negative tags. And the last one, played, ate, kicked. It must be followed with the word didn't. For example, for plural subject, okay? The boys play at the park, don't they? So the word play here, it must be followed with don't. Positive, negative. Next, the girls do not eat beef, do they? We've learnt this before. This is negative. The girls do not eat beef, do they? Okay, this is negative and positive. Okay, let's look at the next one. The boy plays at the park. This is for singular subject. So it must be followed with negative tag, which is doesn't he. So positive, negative. Plays, negative is doesn't. And what about negative statement? Mira does not eat beef. Does she? Okay, so this is negative statement followed by positive tag. And the last one, Chang played at the park, didn't he? So played here is a past tense, so it must be followed with the word didn't he. What about this one? Aiman and Siva did not eat the beef burger, did they? So did not eat is negative statement, must be followed with a positive statement. Okay, now let's look at the common modal verbs. These are common modal verbs, and the purple one is the positive ones and the green ones is the negative ones. So can, can't, could, couldn't, must, mustn't, should, shouldn't, would, wouldn't, will, won't, shall, shan't. Let's look at the sentence. You can speak Mandarin, can't you? You can't drive a lorry, can you? Can you see? It's positive, negative, negative, positive. It's always contrast. Okay, next. Harun could do it himself, couldn't he? Mina couldn't be there, could she? Next. We must follow the rules, mustn't we? We mustn't listen to him, must we? Okay, next. Sam should keep it to himself, shouldn't he? Bala shouldn't go to the party, should he? Mira would like a new job, wouldn't she? You wouldn't stop me, would you? Ikwan will come tomorrow, won't he? Your mother won't buy that expensive bag, will she? And last one. I shall be there at 8 a.m. Shan't I? I shall not add to what they have said, shall I? So it's always positive, negative, negative, positive. Okay, we have come to the end of the lesson. Do you understand the lesson? Good. So we're going to have a quiz. You can go to gg.gg/missainquestiontags or you can scan the barcode. Do the exercise. You have to think and consider all the rules that I've taught you. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Until next time, goodbye.